This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, I'm Dr. Divya on behalf of TeenEinstein. So in 8th chapter, human health and diseases, we were discussing about health. So what do you mean by health? It's not like just absence of disease. It's a state of complete physical, mental, social and physiological well-being. That is called as health. So diseases like typhoid, pneumonia, then fungal infection, malaria and many other major diseases. We have learned about all those things. Then vector-borne diseases like malaria, then which is the causative organism of malaria? Plasmodium. Among that, Plasmodium falciparum, it is a very dangerous one. It's not treated well means that may lead to death also. Then personal cleanliness and hygiene. Then public health measures like proper waste disposal, then decontamination of drinking water, then control of vectors like mosquitoes and immunization we have learned. So all these things that will prevent diseases. So our immune system, we learned about our immune system which plays a major role. Or due to that immune system, healthy immune system, that prevents the diseases when we are exposed to unhealthy conditions. This immune system is working properly and that prevents from diseases. Then the defense, innate defense of our body, it's like skin, then mucous membrane, then antimicrobial substances present in our tears, then saliva, then phagocytic cells. All these will help to block the entry of pathogens. That pathogens, whenever the pathogens are entering into our body, this will block all these things. Our immune system that will block the entry of pathogens. Then if the pathogens, again, after all these things, they are entering into our body or they are getting an entrance to our body, then specific antibodies and some cells, all these help to kill the pathogens. Then immune system has memory. We learned about memory T cells and B cells. So that kind of memory cells that again and again when to the same pathogen body is getting exposed, that immune system will keep that in memory. And again, whenever the second time that same pathogen is attacking the body, from this memory, that will respond and that will give a more intense response which can kill this pathogen. So all this gives the protection to our body from the pathogens. Then we learned about vaccination and immunization. And then in last class, we learned about some other diseases like AIDS and cancer. So these two diseases, they are killing more number of people worldwide. These diseases are there. So they are killing more people. And AIDS is caused by human immunovirus. So which is AIDS caused by human immunodeficiency virus, HIV virus. And it is fatal. But we can prevent, we can take precautions against this disease. Then cancer, we learned about cancer. Then cancer, we can detect cancer and we can give proper treatment at particular stages. If we are detecting, we can give treatment. Then up to this we have learned in last class, right? So now we are going to learn about causes of cancer. We learned about the cancer cells. They are getting, or there is no control over the division. So they are forming multiple divisions are then it is going out of control. So the division, there is an uncontrolled division is happening there, and that forms the tumor, means a mass of cells. So that forms the tumor or the cancer. So next we are going to learn about causes of cancer. So here, once again. So in cancer, what and all? The reasons of cancer. That's what we are going to learn. Causes of cancer. Okay. So in cancer, you know that the normal cells are getting converted into cancerous cells. So these cancerous cells, they are otherwise called as neoplastic cells. That is all we have learned. Cancerous cells are otherwise called as neoplastic cells. So there must be a reason or some kind of agents which is able to convert these normal cells to neoplastic cells. They are some kind of chemicals. Here you can see the physical, chemical or biological agents. So these agents are the reason for converting these normal cells to neoplastic cell or cancerous cells. There is some kind of agents or there is a reason. So these agents, they are called as carcinogens. These agents are called as carcinogens. So the chemicals or biological agents or physical agents which are acting as a reason for converting the transformation of the normal cells to neoplastic cell or cancerous cells, they are called as carcinogens. So what are carcinogens? The agents or the reason by which the normal cells are getting converted or transformed into cancerous cells. They are called as, those agents are called as carcinogens. Then X-rays, gamma rays, these and all ionizing radiations. Ionizing radiations like X-rays and gamma rays. Then UV rays, that is non-ionizing radiation. So all these will damage DNA damage. So that is causing some changes in the genetic material. So that also will lead to neoplastic transformation. See, if DNA is getting damaged or the genetic material is getting damaged, the normal functioning of that cell, that will go. And instead of that, there will be an uncontrolled formation, or the damage may cause some uncontrolled growth or cell division or product formation and all. So that also may cause, like ionizing radiations like X-rays and gamma rays, the non-ionizing radiations like UV, all these will cause DNA damage, and that will lead to cancerous cell formation or neoplastic transformation. Then chemical carcinogens. These we said about the radiations, ionizing and non-ionizing radiations. Next is chemical carcinogens, which is present in tobacco smoke. This is The major cause of lung cancer. See, in movies and all, you can see the advertisement. And starting itself, they'll give the advertisement. So, tobacco, the chemical carcinogen. Example of chemical carcinogen is tobacco smoke. So that is identified as major lung cancer reason. That is the major cause of lung cancer. Okay. Then, in some cases, cancer-causing viruses. Cancer-causing viruses. They are called as oncogenic viruses. In hospital and all, you can see the department oncology that deals with the cancer. So cancer-causing viruses, they are called as oncogenic viruses. They have genes. They have genes called viral oncogenes. Those genes, their genes are called as, those viruses will be having genes. They are called as viral oncogenes, cancerous genes, which is causing cancer. Then several genes called cellular oncogenes or proto-oncogenes. The cellular oncogenes or proto-oncogenes, they have been identified in normal cells. In normal cells also, there are some kind of genes like cellular oncogenes and proto-oncogenes. In normal cells, I'm saying about the normal cells. In normal cells also, presence of cellular oncogenes and proto-oncogenes are there. Normally, they'll be silent. But under certain conditions, when certain condition comes, this will get, these genes like cellular oncogenes or proto-oncogenes, they'll get activated, and then that will lead to oncogenic transformation. Means that may cause the transformation of cells. Okay. So here several genes under cellular oncogenes, like they are called as cellular oncogenes. In normal cells also, cellular oncogenes or proto-oncogenes are identified. So these genes normally, in normal cases, they won't be active. But when they're suitable or certain condition comes, like under suitable conditions, they'll get activated. Or whenever they are getting a chance or such circumstances are coming, means they'll get activated and they will form the neoplastic cells, or they will lead to oncogenic transformation of those cells also. Got it? Next is cancer detection and diagnosis. Cancer detection. How to detect this cancer and how to diagnose, how to treat this cancer. So that is the challenging thing, detection and diagnosis. Then if early detection, cancer is detecting early, in early stages, if we are detecting cancer, we can give treatment and we can protect. Right. So the cancer, early detection of cancer, it is very essential. If it is identified or detected in later stages or late stages, means it's very difficult to treat. Okay. So with medicine and all, we cannot cure that at late stages. So in early detection of cancer, it is very easy, or comparatively, it is easy to diagnose. Then it allows the disease to be treated successfully. So there will be a successful result in the case of early detection. Then cancer detection, it is based on biopsy and histopathological studies of the tissue and blood and bone marrow, tests for increased cell counts in the case of leukemia, and bone marrow test for increased cell count in the case of leukemia. In the case of leukemia, there will be increased cell count. Cell count will be increased. Leukemia means there won't be any control. Cancer means the uncontrolled cell division. That cell is getting divided. So more number of cells are produced in that condition. So in bone marrow test will do in the case of leukemia, because there the cell count will be more in that condition in the case of leukemia. Then cancer detection, how will do or how will detect cancer? Based on biopsy result, then histopathological studies of the tissue and blood, and bone marrow test for increased cell count in the case of leukemia. Then in biopsy what they will do? They used to say biopsy, we have given for biopsy and all. What is biopsy? In biopsy, a piece of the suspected tissue. See, one person is having that cancer doubt, like breast cancer or something. That in that stage, what they will do? The suspected tissue, there they have doubt, like there is a chance of breast cancer. Like that, one doctor is suggesting for biopsy. What they will do? That suspected tissue, they'll cut into thin sections. They'll cut that into thin section. Then it is stained and examined under microscope. That is biopsy. Then histopathological studies. Who will do this? A pathologist. Pathologist will do all these things. In biopsy, a thin piece of the suspected tissue that will be stained and examined under microscope. Then another techniques like radiography. Some other techniques like radiography. Radiography, what they will do? Use of X-rays. Okay, in radiography, X-rays are used. Then CT, computer tomography. CT scan and all they used to say, computer tomography. And MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. Magnetic resonance imaging, that is MRI. MRI scan and all we used to hear in several cases. So all these are very useful to detect cancer of the internal organs. For the detection of cancer of internal organs, usually what they will do? Radiography. Radiography, in that X-rays are used. CT, computer tomography, and MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. They are used to detect cancer of the internal organs. Then computer tomography. Computer tomography, in that X-rays are used to generate 3D image, three-dimensional image of the internal of an object. Okay, so that in CT or computer tomography, X-rays are used. X-ray is used to form the 3D image, three-dimensional image of the internals of an object. Then in MRI, what they are doing? In MRI or magnetic resonance imaging, in that they are using strong magnetic field. Here MRI means magnetic resonance imaging. In that strong magnetic field and non-ionizing radiation, non-ionizing radiations that will detect the physiological changes in that living tissue. So MRI, in MRI what they will do? They are using strong magnetic field and non-ionizing radiation. With the help of these, they will identify the physiological changes in that living tissue. So the early detection of cancer, it is very essential, because in early stage it is very easy to get the treatment and will get successful result. Then cancer detection, it is based on biopsy, then histopathological studies, then bone marrow test. From that increased cell count we can find out in the case of leukemia. Then biopsy. Biopsy, what do you mean by biopsy? A piece of suspected tissue which is cut into thin section and it is stained and examined under microscope. That is called as biopsy. Then radiography. Radiography means by using X-rays. Then CT, computer tomography. Then MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. All these are used to detect cancer of internal organs. Then computer tomography. See, from this you may get questions like from the following which is not used for detection of cancerous cells or cancer of internal organs. All these radiography, CT, MRI, everything you will get with another option. So you have to learn which one is used for detection, which one is not used, and which and all we are using for detection of cancerous organs. Then in computer tomography, X-rays are used, and by using this a 3D image or three-dimensional image of the object is created. In MRI strong magnetic fields are used and non-ionizing radiations also, and that forms the pathological and physiological changes in the living tissue. Got it? With that, they can detect physiological and pathological changes in the living tissue. Next, some antibodies against that cancer specific antigens. They are also used for the detection of certain cancers, not for all. For some, they are using antibodies against this cancer specific antigens. Okay, then techniques of molecular biology that can be applied to detect the genes in individuals with inherited susceptibility to certain cancers. So some genes in individuals, they are inherited with that susceptibility. That means they will get that cancer, such cells. So that kind of cells can be detected by using molecular biology techniques. Whether this person is having such genes or not, that can be detected with the help of molecular biology techniques. Okay. Then identification of such type of genes, then which predispose an individual to certain cancer, that may be very helpful in prevention of cancer. So by detecting such kind of genes with the help of molecular biology techniques, we can make out that this person is having that gene, that particular gene which is susceptible for cancer, or which is having a chance to get cancer disease. So such kind of genes can be identified by using molecular biology techniques. So we can prevent that person from, or it is very helpful to prevent cancer, right? If we have a gene, we can take precautions. So such individuals, that those people can avoid the exposure to carcinogens. So such kind of carcinogens that may give a chance to get cancer in such people when they have that kind of genes. So that those people, such people which are having, a woman or having that particular gene, they can avoid such kind of carcinogens, or they can avoid such kind of situation in which they are going to expose to such carcinogens. So they are susceptible, like tobacco smoke or that and all causing lung cancer. So if people, they have the background of this cancerous genes, so such people can avoid this kind of situations. Got it? Next we are going to learn about treatment of cancer. So now we have learned about the causes of cancer, then how to detect, how to diagnose, everything we have learned. Next is the treatment of cancer. Commonly, how to do the treatments? Common approaches are surgery, then radiation and immunotherapy. Surgery, in the case of breast cancer, it is better to remove that part, or uterus in general we can remove. So the common approach for treatment of cancer, they are surgery, then radiation therapy, then immunotherapy. Surgery, radiation therapy and immunotherapy. So all these are used for the treatment of cancer. Then in radiotherapy, tumor cells or the cancerous cells, they are irradiated lethally, taking proper care of normal tissues surrounding the tumor mass. See, in the body, in this place, they have some tumor cells and surrounding cells are there. So without damaging the surrounding cells, they are irradiating these tumor cells. These tumor cells are treated with the help of radiotherapy, or these are not removed with the help of radiotherapy without damaging the surrounding cells. So that is called as radiotherapy. Then in chemotherapeutic, in that drugs are used to kill cancerous cells. Chemotherapy with the help of this chemical. So in such chemotherapy, what they will do? Radiotherapy with the help of radiation. So they will kill these tumor cells without damaging the surrounding cells. That is radiotherapy. In the case of chemotherapeutic drugs, with the help of drugs or with the help of some medicines or drugs, they are killing the cancerous cells. So these are for specific or particular tumors. For particular tumors, they are using this chemotherapy. Then in chemotherapy, that may cause hair loss, then anemia, such kind of side effects. Okay. So in the case of chemotherapy, there is a bad effect also. There is a side effect. They'll be having that chemicals or the drugs which are used for chemotherapy, they have side effects. Side effects like hair loss. You know that some people after cancer treatment, they will lose their hair. They'll become bald without any hair. Then anemic, they'll become anemic. Then most of the cases, in most of the cases, under those who are under treatment, they'll be having surgery, radiotherapy and chemotherapy. They will undergo surgery, radiotherapy and chemotherapy. In most of the cases of cancer, they'll undergo chemotherapy, radiotherapy and surgery. Then these tumor cells, in the patients, they shown to avoid detection and destruction by immune system. So these tumor cells, what they will do, these tumor cells, our immune system cannot find out or they won't detect. Our immune system won't detect this kind of tumor cells and they won't destruct. Immune system won't destruct or detect. They can't detect these tumor cells and they can't kill these tumor cells. Therefore, those patients will be given substances which are called as biological response or modifiers such as alpha interferons, which activates their immune system and helps in destroying tumor. Got it? So our immune system in normal cases, they cannot find out, they cannot detect and destruct this tumor cells. So what they will do, those patients, they'll be given some kind of biological response modifiers like alpha interferon. No doubt, alpha interferon. They'll be given such kind of biological response modifiers, and these alpha interferon and all, what and all that they will do, that alpha interferon that will activate the immune system. Okay, alpha interferon which can activate the immune system, and that activation, if it is getting activated, what it will do, it will help in destroying the tumor. That will help in destroying the tumor. Next is drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol abuse. Okay. See, in teenagers, we can see that the statistical survey shows drugs and alcohol usage is more in the case of youth. Okay, actually, this will create many harmful effects. Got it? So proper guidance or proper education should be given to youth, because then only they can protect themselves. There is no other person can protect them. They have to get that proper education, or they have to get the good ideas, or they have to learn themselves that these things are harmful to their life, or that is very dangerous situation. If we are using it more, we'll get addicted to such things. So that will change your life. Okay, that will spoil your life. So we have to understand that. So we have to give proper guidance and education for teenagers. So youth should be conscious about this dangerous situation, because that will cause the more usage, the alcohol abuse or drug abuse, that will cause the change in the character or in the lifestyle. So the whole thing will get, your whole life will get spoiled. So instead of that, you should get proper guidance. Okay, so smoking, using this drugs, then alcohol, some kind of medicines, all these things, extra, more usage of all these things, that we should have proper idea about that. Okay, we should have proper knowledge about that. Next, we are going to learn about different drugs. The drugs which are commonly abused are opioids, cannabinoids, and coca alkaloids. Okay, opioids, cannabinoids, and coca alkaloids. See, opioids, they are from Papaver somnifera. This is the plant. Then cannabis sativa, cannabinoids, it is obtained from cannabis sativa. Then erythroxylum coca. Coca alkaloids are obtained from erythroxylum coca, these plants. So the drugs, they are Papaver somnifera. These drugs are mainly abused, or more than the prescribed dosage they are used. See, these and all have medicinal properties also. But these drugs which are commonly abused are opioids, cannabinoids, and coca alkaloids. Then majority of these, it is obtained from the flowering plants. It is obtained from the flowering plants, and some are from the fungi. Some drugs are from fungi. A majority are from the flowering plants. So opioids obtained from Papaver somnifera, note down the scientific name. Then cannabinoids, cannabis sativa. Then coca alkaloids, erythroxylum coca. So first, let's see opioids. 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 This is the plant opium poppy. Opium poppy. And here you can see the chemical structure of morphine. So opioids, mainly they are drugs. Okay, these how it will work? This will bind to opioid receptors present in our central nervous system and gastrointestinal tract. Opioids, they are drugs, and this will bind to opioid receptors, which is present in gastrointestinal tract and central nervous system. In our central nervous system and gastrointestinal tract, opioid receptors are there. So this drug can act on that opioid receptors. Then heroin. It is commonly called as smack. And this is chemically, it is diacetylmorphine. diacetylmorphin. This diacetylmorphin or SMAC, which is a white, odorless, bitter crystalline compound. White, odorless, bitter crystalline compound. It is a crystalline compound, white color, and it is having bitter taste, and that don't have any smell. Without any smell, it is white, odorless, bitter tasting crystalline powder. Which one? Heroin. Heroin is commonly called as SMAC, and the chemical name is diacetylmorphin. Diacetylmorphin, which is heroin. It is commonly called as SMAC, and it is white, odorless, bitter crystalline compound. Then the plant Papaver somniferum. We said the Papaver somniferum. From that, morphin. Morphin is extracted from the latex of this poppy plant. From the latex of the poppy plant, morphin is extracted. Papaver somniferum. Papaver somniferum, that is the plant or opium poppy. From the poppy plant, from that the latex is formed. From this latex, morphin is extracted, and this acetylation of morphin, that gives the heroin. Acetylation of morphin, that gives the heroin or SMAC. So heroin, it is commonly called as SMAC, and it is the diacetylmorphin. From the name itself, it's clear. Diacetylmorphin. Diacetylmorphin is a white, odorless, bitter tasting crystalline powder. And how it is obtained? Papaver somniferum plant, that is having latex, and from that latex, morphin is extracted, and this morphin, acetylation of this morphin, that gives the heroin. Acetylation of morphin. That's why chemically it is diacetylmorphin. Okay, then this generally how this is taken as injection and snorting. Snorting means inhaling through, in powder form inhaling. That is called as snorting. So generally it is taken as snorting and injection. Then how this heroin will work, or how heroin is acting in the body? Heroin, that will depress, or it will slow down the body function. That will reduce or slow down the body function. So heroin is depressant. It is a depressant. It is working as a depressant, and heroin will slow down the body function. So that will slow down the body function, or heroin is working as a depressant, and that will slow down the body function. Got it? Next is cannabinoids. So here cannabinoids, these are group of chemicals which interact with cannabinoid receptors present principally in brain. Cannabinoids, it is obtained from the leaves of cannabis sativa. Cannabinoid, which is obtained from cannabis sativa. This is the plant. Here you can see the plant, cannabis sativa. Then it is, cannabinoids means it is a group of chemicals. It's not a single one, it's a group of chemicals, and this can interact with cannabinoid receptors, that will interact or that will connect with the cannabinoid receptors which is present in the brain. It is directly acting in the brain. The cannabinoid receptors which are present in brain, that will, this cannabinoid, which is a group of chemical, it will act directly in the brain which is having cannabinoid receptors. So this cannabinoid, I said, it is obtaining from this plant, cannabis sativa. Cannabis sativa, this is the plant. And the flower tops, leaves and resins of cannabis plant, they are used in various combinations to produce marijuana, hashish, charas and ganja. Okay, in different combinations they are produced. The flower top, then leaves, then resin. All these things are used. All these things, all these products of that cannabis plant, it's been used in various combinations. In different combinations, it's been used, and marijuana, hashish, all this and ganja, all these things are produced in different combination of these flower top, leaves and resins. Okay, these are formed from different combinations of this flower top, leaves and resins of this cannabis plant. Then oral ingestion, then inhalation. Inhalation or oral ingestion. Through this way it is used or it is taken. Then this is having direct effect on cardiovascular system of the body. See, from these points which I have mentioned here, everything you need to note down. These are valid points for your NEET and your board exam. Cannabinoids, they are directly acting in brain, because in brain they have cannabinoid receptors which is present in brain. They will act directly into that. Then cannabinoids, it is obtained from cannabis sativa plant. The leaf top, flower top, then leaves and the resins. They are, all these are used for the production. Okay, so in different combinations they are used to produce marijuana, hashish, charas and ganja, all these things. Okay, generally oral ingestion and inhalation, through that it is taken. Then it is having direct effect on cardiovascular system of our body. Next is coca alkaloids or cocaine. Coca alkaloids or cocaine. Coca alkaloids or cocaine. It is obtained from coca plant. Here you can see Erythroxylum coca. This plant. This is the plant from which coca alkaloids are obtained, or cocaine is obtained from coca plant. Erythroxylum coca. Erythroxylum coca. That is native of South America. This plant, and how this will work? This interferes with the transport of the neurotransmitter dopamine. This will interact or interfere with the neurotransmitter dopamine, and that's how it is acting on the body. Then cocaine, it is commonly called as coke or crack. It is usually snorted, okay, through nose. The powdered form is inhaled. So this is having the stimulating action on central nervous system. This is acting on central nervous system, and it is having the stimulating capacity that produces a sense of euphoria and increased energy. That creates an increased energy. Then more usage or excessive dosage of cocaine, it causes hallucination. Okay, excessive use of cocaine, that causes hallucination. Coca alkaloids or cocaine is obtained from the plant Erythroxylum coca that interferes with the transport of neurotransmitter dopamine. Then cocaine it's commonly called as coke or crack, and it is usually snorted. Okay, this is having a stimulating action on central nervous system. Then that produces a sense of euphoria and increased energy. Then excess usage of cocaine that causes hallucination. Next, there are some other plants which causes such effects. So other non-plants, well-known plants are this Atropa belladonna. You can see here the Atropa belladonna. This plant also causes such a hallucinogenic effect. This is also causing hallucinogenic effect. Then another one is datura. This is a common plant you can see near roadside and all. Datura. One more peach color flower that is also there. That are now common plants with big flower, white color or peach color flower. This is datura. Actually, this is having some poisonous effect also. The seeds of that or the fruit of that. So these are some other plants like datura and Atropa belladonna. These plants also have hallucinogenic property. Then cannabinoids. These are abused by sportsmen also. Sportspersons. Some sportspersons are misusing this effect of these cannabinoids. Next, some drugs like this barbiturates, then amphetamines, then benzodiazepines. All these are similar drugs. These are similar drugs and they are normally used as medicines. They're used as medicines. These medicines, barbiturates, amphetamines, then benzodiazepines, all these are similar kind of drugs and they are normally used as medicine. For what? Those medicine, they are used as medicine to help patients who are having mental illness. So for mental illness patients who are having mental illness, for such people's treatment, for that treatment drugs like barbiturates, benzodiazepines and all used, and for which disease illness like depression, then insomnia. Okay, these are also sometimes abused. So in mental depression, insomnia and all for such diseases, for treating such diseases, for managing such diseases, these barbiturates, amphetamines and benzodiazepines and all used. But these drugs also sometimes abused or they are often abused. Then morphine. Morphine is very effective. It is a sedative. Morphine is sedative and it is a painkiller. And for those who are undergone surgery, for them they are using a sedative or painkiller and all. So morphine, it is a effective sedative or painkiller and it is used to, or it is used in patients, those who have undergone surgery. Then in folk medicine and religious ceremonies and all, some other so many plants have been used which is having same hallucinogenic properties. Okay, so all over the world it's used. So these are, when all these kinds of plants or medicines or drugs, they are used for medicinal usage, it is quite good, right? But sometimes they are misused. or the overdosage use, the amount or frequency, that usage frequency or that usage amount, it is increasing, means that will create problems for physical or physiological health of one person. So that is called as drug abuse. Beyond the prescribed frequency or prescribed amount or quantity it is used, means it is known as drug abuse. Otherwise, all these are having medicinal uses. Got it? Then another thing is smoking. So smoking, this is also, it's like same like this only. So tobacco, it is used by human being for more than 400 years. It's used, tobacco is used. It is smoked, chewed or used as a snuff. So this tobacco, people should know that the tobacco, it is having large number of chemical substances including nicotine, which is an alkaloid. Nicotine, it is an alkaloid that is present in tobacco. Tobacco contains large number of chemical substances including the alkaloid nicotine. So this nicotine, how nicotine is acting? Nicotine stimulates the adrenal gland. Okay, and that releases adrenaline and noradrenaline into blood circulation. How nicotine is working? Nicotine from tobacco, how nicotine is working? Nicotine stimulates the adrenal gland to release adrenaline or noradrenaline into blood circulation. And these both adrenaline and noradrenaline, that will raise blood pressure and that will increase heart rate. Okay, so adrenaline and noradrenaline, which is released due to the stimulation of nicotine, due to that adrenal gland will release adrenaline and noradrenaline into blood circulation. So these both adrenaline and noradrenaline, when it is released into blood, that will increase blood pressure and increase heart rate. Okay, that's how it is working. Then smoking, there is a chance of increased cancer, lung cancer. So smoking, it is injurious to health, that causes lung cancer, then urinary bladder and throat bronchitis, emphysema, coronary heart disease, gastric ulcers. Smoking is associated with increased incidence of cancer that causes lung cancer, urinary bladder cancer, throat, bronchitis, emphysema, coronary heart disease. All these diseases are associated with smoking. That increases the chance of all these diseases. So tobacco chewing, another one, tobacco chewing, that is also there. That is associated with increased risk of cancer of oral cavity. Cancer of oral cavity, that tobacco chewing, the end result of that is cancer of oral cavity. Then, how smoking is affecting badly? Smoking increases carbon monoxide. Smoking will increase carbon monoxide content in the blood, and that reduces the concentration of heme-bound oxygen. Heme-bound oxygen is getting reduced. Smoking will increase the carbon monoxide content in blood, and that will reduce the concentration of heme-bound oxygen. So that causes oxygen deficiency. Oxygen content will get reduced, or that causes oxygen deficiency in the body. Carbon monoxide, which is not useful for our body, that causes dangerous effects. So we need heme-bound oxygen. Okay, so that oxygen will be deficient in our body due to this smoking. Clear? Then, when one person is getting that cigarette packet, on that also warning will be there, because it is injurious to health. That warning is there. Still people are using that. Okay. Among young people and old people, this habit is there. Some people, so many years, they'll be using that. Since so many years, they'll be using the same thing. Still, they are reading that warning is there on packet. Still, they are using. Why? Because they know that it is dangerous for body, and chewing tobacco that will cause the cancer, and but they are addicted to such things. So both old and young people, they need to avoid this kind of habit. They got addicted. So that addiction, such kind of addictions, in such cases, what we need proper counseling and medical help to get rid of that habit. So we need proper counseling, then medical help. With the help of medical practitioners and all, we can come out of that addiction. So that need help of doctors. Then addiction, that kind of addiction requires counseling, proper counseling. They will tell you or they will teach you that the hazardous effect of such kind of addictions and all. So we need help to come out of such kind of addictions and get rid of such kind of habits. Got it? Is it clear? So that's all about today's class. So in human health and diseases, today we have learned about the drugs and their positive and negative sides. When it is used in proper quantity, it is good. When it is going beyond the level or it is creating some kind of addiction, means how it will work on each chemical or each drug, in how it is affecting our body, on which part it is working, and how it is causing diseases. Everything we have learned today. So these portions, these are important for your NEET as well as your board exam. Go through all these portions. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the next class. Okay. Thank you.